Ladies, gentlemen, I hate to be the guy that brings the bad news, but the Black Ops Cold War Alpha is over. I know, keep it coming, it's sad. Now we have to wait till October 8th to actually play the game again in the beta. And what I will say is I had a lot of fun with the alpha. Overall, I think the game is going to be fantastic. There's many things I like, which I'm going to go over in a little bit. But there's also a bunch of things that I didn't like. And now that it is over, Treyarch is actually asking us for our feedback. They have a whole thing over on Twitter where you can go and leave comments for them, things that you'd like to see them change. So if you want to check that out, I will link that down in the description. This is going to be my unfiltered, honest opinions on the game. And most of this video is actually going to be going over things that I'd like to see changed or things that I didn't like. But I did want to start with some things that I did like. First of all, overall, 6v6, fantastic. I loved most of the maps except for Miami. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The gameplay, the movement mechanics, I really liked. The gunplay, I really like. I like the time to kill, and the all of the weapon gunsmith create a class. I think they did a really good job on. I can't wait to see what other perks, grenades, things like that they're going to add. So all of that was good. I will say it was a little bit weird, strange, playing a Call of Duty game without leveling up. Not having levels, not being able to level up your weapons, complete challenges. It felt a little bit empty, but what it made me do is want the actual release of the game or even the beta that much more, because once you add that leveling into the Call of Duty game, it just kind of makes it complete for me. Maybe that's strange, maybe I'm in the minority, but that's kind of how I felt throughout the whole thing. I wanted to be leveling up, I wanted to be completing weapon camos and things like that, so it made me actually want the game to come out even more, which is probably actually what they wanted. But overall, really good experience, but there are some things that definitely need to be fixed, some bugs, some problems with the game, and that's what I wanted to go over in this video. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say of the things that I liked, because there was so much of it. Now I'm going to go over the things that I'd like to see changed, updated, fixed, and just some things that I didn't like, period. So let's start there. So first things first, skill-based matchmaking. I talked about it yesterday. Not going to talk about it in this video. If you want a full breakdown of that, check out yesterday's video. It'll be linked down in the description. Also at the end of the video on screen, all of that good jazz. But the biggest thing that I wanted to kind of talk about first right away, get it off my chest, is combined arms. I did not like combined arms. Period. I just did not enjoy it. Now, there are, I think, many reasons and ways it can be fixed. Now, the first reason is fixed spawns. You spawn all the way at the back at your furthest back flag almost every single time, which means there's a solid amount of ground you have to cover before you get back into the action. I didn't like that. Ways to fix this: 1, squad spawning. Just like they had in Modern Warfare, I think that works very well. 2, being able to pick which flag you spawn at. So if you have 3 flags captured, you can kind of pick which one. That, I think, will help that greatly. The other thing that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is up the player count. Up it to 20v20, and that'll speed up the action and make it so that you don't have to run as far to get back into that action. Now, maybe some of the maps that they have planned that won't work on, and maybe that's why it's 12v12, but especially on like Crossroads, the map that you're watching here, this is a map that I think would greatly get better with more players. Just my opinion, though. The other problem I had with combined arms is I didn't really like the vehicles in them. The snowmobiles, the ski-doos or jet skis, whatever you want to call them, I'm cool with. They get you from point A to point B. I actually quite enjoy that. The other ones, though, like the boat with the minigun on it or the tanks, I didn't love. The boat with the minigun on it, I can get on board with. It's not terrible, but the tanks are way too strong. It takes way too many rockets to kill them, and on top of that, they just destroy people. Honestly, I think since when I originally played this, they might have even nerfed the tanks a little bit, but they're still almost always a one-hit kill. They take too much to destroy, and to me, they just don't add a lot. I would prefer if they just got rid of them completely. I doubt that they will, so at the very minimum, they need to be nerfed, and I think the best way to do that is make them easier to destroy. All in all, I didn't really enjoy combined arms, just not my cup of tea. That being said, though, ground war wasn't really my thing in Modern Warfare, so maybe that's just a me thing. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Actually, I'd love to hear all of your opinions about the alpha if you played it down in the comments, so let me know what you actually think about anything revolving around the alpha. Now, moving into 6v6, overall, maps really good. Really liked Satellite, really liked Moscow. Did not like Miami. Now, the look of Miami, I think they nailed it. Looks fantastic, but honestly, this is the Piccadilly of Black Ops Cold War. That's the best way I can describe it. It's too big, the spawn areas are too big, and it just doesn't have a good flow to it. To fix this, I think they'd have to limit and kind of cordon off some of the areas. I think that this would be like a better 10v10 or even a 12v12 map than 6v6. It's just too slow. Now, it does get better if you're playing domination or hardpoint against the right team, but a lot of the time I found on this map, people would just camp in certain areas overlooking the middle of the map, that one little room, you know the one I'm talking about, and it just didn't really work for me. Not my favorite map, and I heard a lot of people agree and say the same thing. To fix it, I would limit the area on it and make it a little bit smaller of a map. The other thing I will say about maps is I want some smaller maps, whether that be Nuketown or other maps that are smaller, kind of like Summit size. They need some smaller maps. Moscow is a decent size. Satellite is pretty big if you include all of the outer area, but I want some smaller maps for sure. Weapons, create a class, perks, all of that jazz. I think they did a pretty decent job at this. The weapons definitely weren't perfectly balanced. I think the AK-74U and the Type 63 were probably the best two weapons. The Type 63, you could just pick people off of head glitches like there's no tomorrow. I really liked that gun, but I think it's a little bit too powerful. The 74U, I think, just has a little bit too much range. If you dial back that range, I think it'll actually be relatively balanced. It almost has the same range as the AK-47, and obviously that's an assault rifle, so that's not really balanced. The other thing was sniper rifles. I think for the most part, the sniper rifles actually aren't that bad. The problem comes in is where there's very little flinch, if not no flinch in this game when you get shot, and when someone has a sniper rifle, a weapon that kills in one bullet every single time, at least if you're accurate, when you have no flinch, basically your time to kill is going to beat any other weapon that you get in a gunfight with at any range. So because there's no flinch, all of a sudden the sniper rifles have a huge advantage in every single gunfight. And yeah, not everyone is going to be able to use them as well as some people, but the people that are good with sniper rifles are just going to destroy the other people because of that no flinch. So I think that they have to add just a little bit of flinch to sniper rifles, and they're actually going to be relatively balanced. If you didn't notice, snipers in this game have very little aim assist, and that is kind of where the balance comes in. The other thing I will say about weapon balance is by the end of the alpha, I found on most of my weapons, I was using almost all of the same attachments. There wasn't really a bunch of different attachments I wanted to try. I kind of found one set, and those were kind of the best ones. And maybe that will change once they add more attachments in, and I hope it does. But attachment variety is something I'd like to see a little bit more from weapon to weapon instead of just using the same things on every single weapon. All right, now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty things, but I think a lot of these are actually really important. First of all, motion blur. As of right now, after every single game, motion blur would turn back on, and then before every game, you'd have to turn it off. I don't even know why motion blur is in the game. It literally makes it look worse. Just take it out, but I'm sure they're not going to. At least fix that. I'm sure they're going to fix that, but that was relatively annoying for me. The second thing, this is a huge one. This might be the biggest thing on my list. You may have noticed that there were no tracers on bullets. So when someone was to shoot at you, you couldn't actually see where they were shooting from unless they hit you. So if someone missed a couple of bullets, you still couldn't tell where they were coming from. This was especially prevalent on the larger maps like Satellite and Miami, and definitely on the Combined Arms maps, and that needs to be fixed. I need to be able to see where bullets are coming from. That way I can know where I'm being shot at from and either shoot them back or get behind cover. That was a really, really big one to me, and I found that really frustrating. I'm sure it's a bug. I'm sure they will fix it, but I hope they know about it. That's why I'm saying it. The next one is kind of nitpicky, is with artillery and napalm. I think that there should be an indicator on the mini-map, or at least a visual indicator, that you are in the area where they are being called in. A lot of the times they would get called in, and I would have no idea that I was in them. So almost like a predator missile indicator on the mini-map would do just fine, in my opinion. Now this last one, I don't know if it's a good idea or not. But what I noticed when I was playing this game is the idea of score streaks is to make it so that you earn score for playing objectives as well as killing people. But with the new system that they have, it is so important to go on kill streaks to get that multiplier and earn your streaks that the objectives actually don't add a lot of incentive to play. And what I noticed, especially in Kill Confirmed, is that no one was actually going for the tags because they wanted the game to go longer so they could go on longer kill streaks. And if you're on a kill streak, you don't want to run out into the middle of nowhere to collect a tag. So what I propose is, in some way, they would have to find a good way to balance it, but some way your kill multiplier also applies to the objectives that you take. So for example, if you're playing domination and you have a 6 kill streaks, if you capture a flag, it also gets a 6 times score multiplier. Now that will definitely have to be balanced, especially with Kill Confirmed, because you'd earn score streaks way too quick. But I think there needs to be a little bit more of an incentive when you're on kill streaks to play the objective, because in a lot of objective game modes, when people were on streaks, they just wouldn't play the objectives. So trying to come up with an idea for that, I think might be a decent idea. And maybe I'm wrong. You guys can let me know. That was just something that I thought and noticed while I was playing. So my final two things are both going to be questions to you guys. One thing that I noticed is that the use of equipment, throwing tacticals, throwing lethals, throwing C4s, was very, very slow. It took much longer than Modern Warfare does. I don't know if this is a good thing or if that's a bad thing. You can let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Should they speed it up? Is it a good speed? Let me know what you think. It's definitely slower than Modern Warfare. I just don't know whether that's good or bad. The second thing is the Perk Ninja. So what I noticed by the end of playing the alpha is that Ninja definitely didn't make your footsteps silent, especially while sprinting. It made them quieter, quite a bit quieter, but you could still hear everyone coming for you. I never had a problem hearing footsteps, which I guess is a good thing. Sound whoring adds a little bit of a skill gap. But what do you think? Should Ninja make your footsteps dead silent? Should they be more silent than they were in the alpha? Should they be louder? Let me know what your opinions on that are in the comments, because I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. There were just a couple of things I noticed, and I thought it would be a good community discussion. So let me know. But all in all, those are my thoughts on the alpha. All in all, I would say good. Definitely like 7.5, 8 out of 10 experience. Couple of things that need to be fixed, and if they do, I can't wait to see where things go in the beta. Once leveling is added in, challenges, the game's actually released with campaign, zombies, Warzone. I can't wait to see where this game ends up, but all in all, great experience with the alpha. Can't wait to see where it goes next. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the truth about the alpha. I really enjoyed my time playing it, but now I want to hear your opinion. Actually, this is one of the videos I really want your comments on. I want to hear what you liked. What did I miss in this video? What did you hate? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to hear. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, it's always appreciated if you hit that like button. And if you're new here, want to stay up to date on everything Call of Duty, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on, all that good crap. But until next time, I hope you enjoyed the video, and peace out.